Welcome back to our channel where we present updates and concealed tales about royal family. We are happy to offer the following news. Harry and Meghan missably fight courts and family scandal, marking a Christmas crisis. In a time when seasonal tradition crosses with personal turmoil, the British royal family has made headlines. In recent weeks, attention has been divided between the Prince and Princess of Wales' charitable work community connection and careful introduction of their children to public life, and the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's transatlantic public relations challenges, legal proceedings, and private family disputes from California. Prince William plans to take his eldest son, Prince George, to visit the homelessness charity Centrepoint, the Princess of Wales's successful Christmas carol service, Prince Harry's legal action over his UK security arrangements, and Meghan Markle's emotional exchange with her estranged father, Thomas Markle, have garnered the most attention. Each of these storylines highlights different tensions and priorities facing monarchy members today between continuity and adaptation, public duty and private life tradition, and media-driven scrutiny, and collectively they show how people living under intense global observation are navigating a centuries-old institution. The Prince and Princess of Wales have continually supported humanitarian work that benefits communities and instills responsibility in their children. The couple appears to be taking a planned, controlled approach to expose the newest generation to public service while shielding them from media attention. This technique preserves as much of the children's ordinary childhoods as possible while training them for public-facing responsibilities. The focus on orchestrated, meaningful social cause contacts reflects a long-term notion that title privileges should be paired with informed empathy and ongoing commitment, not picture opportunities. This approach was seen in reports that Prince William planned to introduce Prince George to Centrepoint, a long-standing charity for homeless youth. As its name implies, Centrepoint provides housing assistance and independence for vulnerable youth. It provides emergency housing and longer-term support to help young people find an education, job, and stable housing. The charity is widely used to represent adolescent homelessness in the UK. William has supported the charity for about 2 decades, and his commitment to it has been cited as one of his charitable priorities. William says his mother, the late Diana, Princess of Wales, introduced him to a shelter when he was 11, which sparked his interest in social concerns. The effort to introduce Prince George, now 11, to the people and initiatives that inspired his father's passion to homeless youth shows a desire to carry on ideals and tangible commitments, not just titles. According to family members, William often discusses social issues with his children. The Centrepoint visit would allow George to meet homeless people and see how charities address those issues. According to the study, the goal is to offer George a significant fundamental experience, like his father's, to foster empathy, social awareness, and a desire to serve others. When administered well, such an experience can widen a child's perspective of society outside the royal walls and inculcate a lived sense of public policy and community action. The pair controls their family's public exposure around that pedagogical goal. Commentators and royal aides have been careful to avoid portraying such a launch as a PR ploy rather than an educational opportunity. This sensitivity comes from the recollection of Diana's visit to a shelter with young William, which was done quietly without fanfare and with limited media attention to retain its immediacy and authenticity. William's interactions with Prince George and Centrepoint are expected to be discreet, prioritizing the child's learning and the dignity of the people he meets. That caution may imply restricted press coverage, carefully crafted introductions, and an emphasis on the charity's work rather than the celebrity in attendance. This method supports the couple's wish to provide Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis a normal childhood. The Princess and Prince of Wales have carefully involved the children in meaningful and symbolic public engagements that represent family life and service, while safeguarding them from intense media scrutiny and an unfiltered public gaze. The youngsters have also been introduced to royal functions and issues in a progressive process to prepare them for their future royalty roles. Responsible introductions set boundaries around public access, control the narrative, and ensure that public-facing experiences have genuine charitable or community rationale to balance the pedagogical benefits of exposure with childhood development protection. Another aspect of William's public work is his inherited focus on environmental issues, which he has pursued through the Earthshot Prize, a high-profile global initiative to find and scale environmental solutions. William wants to teach his son about social issues at home, just as he turned an inherited feeling of obligation to the environment into a global program. The 5-year Homewards Initiative, one of William's latest main endeavors, may be a good background for introducing Prince George to Centerpoint and allied charities. William wants to show George the symbolic power of the monarchy and the everyday human issues royal patronage and advocacy address by introducing him to the people and organizations that inspired his father. Engaging young royals in cause-driven activities is symbolic and practical. Early exposure to socially disadvantaged people can alter children's attitudes and priorities. It shows the people that royal patronage is more than ceremonial and involves tangible programs and long-term commitments. These phased entrances reflect a wider royal publicity recalibration in a moment when seclusion is harder to secure. The couple wants to show how public duty and personal growth may coexist. This approach also recognizes modern expectations that public figures, especially those with inherited privilege, should be accountable, transparent, and invested in their causes. Alongside these substantive tasks, the public has occasionally seen the family's more personal interests that humanize them and help them interact with regular individuals. Prince William, an avid Aston Villa supporter, with a season ticket, expressed his views on social media during a dramatic Premier League match where Emi Buendia scored a last-minute goal against Arsenal. In a spontaneous post, William opposed TV analyst Martin Keown's choice of naming a losing Arsenal player as man of the match, instead praising Buendia's performance. Keown defended his judgment as hundreds of followers debated it online. This impromptu conversation about popular culture and sports showed the prince as an ardent supporter rather than a public official. It showed that royals, despite their stature, share many of the same interests as the public, and that such moments may connect them. These casual glimpses into popular life demonstrate a new communication strategy, selective personal disclosures that emphasize shared experiences over institutional authority. A simple, real emotion to a sporting event can cut through officialdom and elicit warm public responses in a media world of curated images and quick comments. However, an apparently minor statement might be exaggerated, politicized, or misconstrued, so candor and caution must be balanced. If social media comments on football matches humanize the royals, formal gatherings emphasize their institutional responsibilities and philanthropy. The Princess of Wales's third annual Westminster Abbey. Together at Christmas Carol service was a highlight before the holidays. The Carol service has become a royal holiday institution as the princess's signature event. It celebrates community spirit, honors UK volunteers and charity workers, and sets a tone of reflection and togetherness for the family Christmas time. The Carol service's 1,600 guests were carefully chosen to represent a variety of charitable and community workers, from early childhood development to child and family support, mental health advocacy to grassroots volunteering. Bringing people from different causes together boosts their work and shows the monarchy's commitment to civil society and community resilience. The royal family gathered to support the princess, emphasizing the event's unity with the organizations and persons represented. Senior royal endorsements boost public interest, fundraising, and media attention, which can lead to continued support for charity. Musical and dramatic elements affect the service's tone and attractiveness. Prince William and actor Michael Ward read, and the Westminster Abbey Choir, Adam Lambert, Beverly Knight, and Jacob Collier performed this year. ITV airs the production on Christmas Eve, making it a cultural ritual for many viewers at home. In the US and elsewhere, the special is often available on streaming services that carry British programming, spreading the princess's message of community and compassion. The monarchy can communicate its values to a large audience and comment on the balance between spectacle and earnestness by televising the event. Westminster Abbey's location adds personal and ceremonial significance. The Abbey is one of Britain's most revered religious places, with centuries of national rituals and royal events. William and Catherine were married there in 2011. Having the service at their wedding location shows familial continuity and private remembrance to the public. Returning with their children to Westminster Abbey for an event that celebrates family love and togetherness helps the monarchy incorporate personal traditions into its public image and reinforces its symbolic role in national celebrations and reflections. They emphasize the monarchy's lasting cultural relevance at the intersection of personal milestones and public ritual. Contemporary royal public relations activities like the yearly carol service combine community acknowledgement, televised ritual, and brand building. Carefully selected guest lists, artistic collaborators in broadcasting the event, highlight the monarchy's values, compassion service family in a media-friendly fashion. The Princess of Wales is cementing a role that combines ceremonial leadership with a modern emphasis on empathy and civic involvement to appeal to both traditional royal audiences and a public more aware of social effect. Her leadership of such events shows a desire to modify ceremonial practice while retaining its connected force and making royalty relevant to modern social goals. While the Prince and Princess of Wales have managed public obligations and family projects, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have drawn media attention from across the Atlantic. Three pressures: a high-profile familial estrangement, ongoing legal engagement with British authorities over Prince Harry's security, and a concerted effort to define and monetize their public image and charitable ambitions in the U.S. through media projects in the Archewell Foundation, complicate their situation. The quarrel between Meghan Markle and her father Thomas Markle is one of the most agonizing stories of recent months. Mr. Markle has stated that his daughter has not contacted him after emergency life-saving surgery that removed one of his legs. He reportedly told the Mail on Sunday, "I have never stopped loving her. I don't want to die apart from Meghan," expressing his wish for peace and the family's emotional toll. Such comments' emotional intensity has naturally grabbed media attention and public sympathy, sparking a new flurry of reportage on the family's troubled connections. According to Duchess of Sussex representatives, Ms. Markle had sought to contact him by email. However, Mr. Markle's side said that the Duchess's email address had been dormant for 5 years, therefore he did not get the message. The disjunction between a claim that contact was attempted and a counterclaim that no communication was received has been extensively reported and seen as a symbol of the relationship's problems. Due to Mr. Markle's persistent health issues, media sources suggest more blood clot surgery. This public exchange resonates for several reasons. First, it reinforces Meghan's long-standing separation from her father, which she highlighted in the 2022 Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan as losing him. Second, both parties' contradicting narratives, one claiming outreach, the other non-receipt, have drawn attention to how media dynamics can entangle modern familial disagreements. Third, health urgency enhances personal sadness and public interest. Those following the story have seen how the contradicting accounts and emotional stakes create sympathy for the characters while providing critical comments about private anguish and public narrative making. Public figures face a larger problem when intimate family concerns are externalized and discussed in ways that can exacerbate private rifts, as in the Markle episode. Their high-profile withdrawal from royal duties has not shielded the Sussexes from intense tabloid interest. Rather, it has complicated their attempts at privacy because both the media ecosystem and their own public activities provide constant opportunities for scrutiny. Personal gestures, attempted reconciliations, or demonstrations of love must be mediated through spokesman news releases and competing narratives, making actual reconciliation harder. Publicizing a private grievance raises ethical problems concerning the media's role in family disputes and those who magnify or remark on them. Tabloids stress immediacy and salaciousness, whereas more measured outlets may focus on context or estrangement's human effects. Regardless of outlet, magnifying private sorrow for public consumption might hinder reconciliation, which some want. It also shows how the Sussexes' separation from formal royal duties has not diminished public interest in their personal lives, but rather turned it into entertainment and scrutiny that is hard to redirect toward policy, philanthropy, or substantive causes. Prince Harry has made progress in his long-running challenge against UK security arrangements, along with the family feud. After Prince Harry left the royal family in 2020, the Royal and VIP Executive Committee (RAVEC) removed his automatic taxpayer-funded police protection. Security for the Duke is now determined trip by trip rather than continuously. Under the current procedure, the Duke must give the authorities at least 30 days' notice of any planned travel to the UK, and the Metropolitan Police examine the trip's security needs. Harry's legal case argues that this transactional ad hoc approach fails to account for the permanent and specific threats he claims to suffer due to his global reputation and life circumstances. The current High Court judgment requires RAVEC to reassess Prince Harry's threat level for the first time in almost 6 years. The court has ordered RAVEC to gather additional police and government intelligence, and Prince Harry's team's comments to update the threat assessment. This appraisal, expected a month after the court's ruling, will determine whether the Duke receives public-funded armed police protection when he visits the UK. That outcome is significant and sparks public debate. Prince Harry and his supporters believe that restoring protection would prove that a stable, assured security arrangement is necessary for his safety and the continuation of familial links with Britain. Since the current system demands time-consuming advance notification and individualized approvals for each travel, restored protection would also eliminate a practical impediment that complicates family visits. Critics and public expenditure watchers oppose utilizing government monies to protect a non-working monarch with armed cops. The cost of such protection and whether someone who no longer performs official royal duties should have the same public-funded security as active monarchs have been debated. Anti-reinstatement advocates have cited the Duke's ability to go abroad without armed public protection to challenge taxpayer-funded security. The RAVEC review is procedural, yet symbolic. Ad hoc security would limit the Duke's ability to travel freely to the UK with his family without negotiating protection on each occasion. A decision in favor of permanent protection could be read as an emphatic recognition of the unique threats he faces, but it would also reopen public debate about public funds and the royal milieu's private-public boundaries. In summary, the court-ordered reconsideration is both a practical move in a legal battle and a pivot on public accountability, safety, and royal prestige. Beyond Harry, the judgment could set a precedent for how security is allocated to other former public figures with international profiles and inform public discussions about where the state's responsibilities end in protecting people born into privilege and risk. Prince Harry made a surprise appearance at the British-American Business Council's Christmas dinner in Santa Monica, a more relaxed setting for public remarks, despite these legal and personal issues. In a speech to business leaders and guests, he made self-deprecating remarks and made fun of UK-US cultural differences. Harry made fun of Downton Abbey creator Julian Fellowes, who was honored at the ceremony, by comparing the show to his life. People sometimes ask if growing up with the royal family was a bit like Julian's Downton Abbey. He said only one of those worlds is filled with drama, intrigue, elaborate dinners, and marriages to Americans. The quip, which contrasted television with royal theater, was delivered with levity. Harry resumed his light-hearted luncheon remarks by discussing the FIFA World Cup and national pride. He called England and Scotland's qualification for the 2026 tournament a Christmas miracle. And he joked about his childhood kilts and how time has made Scotland's qualification special. He also joked about American brewers benefiting if other UK nations qualified, mixing cultural insight with levity. The speech appeared to show the Duke as calm, likable, and capable of self-mockery, an attempt to soften his public image after a period of serious or defensive pronouncements and media ventures. A dangerous endeavor Harry's humorous endeavor was. Despite the fact that the Duke is no longer a working royal, his public statements continue to generate attention and are frequently considered in relation to his birthright. From the beginning, the royal family has never been involved in political affairs. Comments made on politically sensitive figures or topics, even when they are made in a humorous context, have the potential to be viewed as partisan or provocative, which can alienate viewers who are in support of the Sussexes. All of Harry and Meghan's public statements are scrutinized by commentators in order to ascertain whether or not they contribute to the achievement of their humanitarian and media objectives. Several projects, such as Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, and Meghan's podcast, Archetypes, have attracted the attention of the general public and sparked conversation about the topics they cover and the manner in which they carry themselves. Together, the two individuals have also established Archewell, a media and charitable organization that brings together the worlds of media and philanthropy. They continue to concentrate on those initiatives and how they are received in the United States and the United Kingdom as they look for a public life model that can be maintained outside of the British monarchy. Their companies operate in a more complicated market that not only promotes personal branding and storytelling, but also makes such narratives vulnerable to harsh criticism from the general public, particularly when they deal with issues of privilege, accountability, and the obligations that come with being a public figure. The Sussexes have been the subject of speculative entertainment coverage, some of which may have been met with opposition from skeptical observers. This is in addition to the conscious modifications that have been made to their public profile. For example, a report that is okay. According to a magazine, Prince Harry may offer his aunt, Sarah, Duchess of York, interview coaching if she agrees to a high-profile broadcast tell-all interview similar to the one that Oprah Winfrey does. The magazine was informed by an industry insider who wished to remain anonymous that Harry could serve as an unofficial broker to assist his aunt in navigating a significant interview. In the capacity of counselor to the Duchess of York, Harry was met with skepticism from a significant number of royal watchers and media critics. As a result of her vast career in the media, which includes an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 1996, Sarah, Duchess of York, appears to be accustomed with the platform and procedure of large broadcast interviews. Those who are opposed to OK was opposed to providing substantive reporting. The article referred to the story as a rumor that was based on celebrity and was hypothetical. It also mentioned that the Duchess's past and her familiarity with the media make it highly improbable that she would rely on her nephew for such guidance, particularly in light of the negative media encounters he has had. Critics believe that the Duchess would not undertake an interview that could raise tensions within the royal family or put her children, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie, in precarious situations. However, the Duchess has not provided an official response to the article. In these threads, a royal family is depicted balancing a multitude of requests, some of which are in conflict with one another. Through the teaching of public duty to their children, the operation of cause-centered programs, and the hosting of family-oriented events that mix personal significance with civic purpose, the Prince and Princess of Wales are conserving and reinventing traditions. The Sussexes, on the other hand, are reinventing their public lives outside of the framework of the royal family. They are mixing family disagreements and legal concerns with working with the media and charitable organizations. It is clear that personal and institutional issues are now inextricably linked with public discourse, as seen by the quarrel between Meghan and her father, as well as the security lawsuit filed by Prince Harry. These trends also bring to light a greater contradiction that exists for contemporary royalty: the need to be approachable and above reproach, the need to blend private family life with public duty, and the need to utilize personal tales to support charitable organizations without hiding the causes themselves. It would appear that the Prince and Princess of Wales are adhering to a strategy that blends providing their children with minimal exposure to the public with the purpose of educating them about issues related to homelessness and environmental conservation. Within the context of a global media environment that encourages personal transparency and scrutinizes private disputes, the history of the Sussexes demonstrates the challenges associated with defining a public relationship. These conflicts will be shaped by a number of significant events. The re-evaluation of Ravec will have an impact on the Duke's travel plans, as well as public arguments regarding taxpayer funding and the state's security concerns toward a prominent royal traveler who is currently living abroad. The Princess of Wales will demonstrate how she consolidates a public role of communal joy and compassion through her supervision of activities such as the carol service known as Together at Christmas. The future interactions between Meghan Markle and Thomas Markle will continue to be a public story of family estrangement. There will be no simple answers, and there will be significant emotional repercussions. The media and humanitarian endeavors of the Sussexes, whether they are philanthropic or commercial in nature, will have an effect on how the general public perceives their goals and the current royal activity that takes place outside of palace facilities. In a nutshell, the past few weeks have demonstrated how the royal family, which is founded on centuries of ritual and symbolism, is required to deal with contemporary challenges such as privacy, obligation, public funding, media scrutiny, and personal reconciliation. In this day and age of instantaneous news cycles and intense public interest, the decisions that individual members make regarding when to protect their children, when to personally engage with charitable causes, how to handle family disagreements in public, and how assertively to pursue legal remedies will have an impact on their private lives, as well as the public role that the monarchy plays. While the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are facing global criticism and legal concerns, legacy, identity, and contemporary public life continue to influence the institution. This is especially true in light of the fact that the Prince and Princess of Wales are concentrating on community causes and a measured involvement of their family. The outcome of public conversation and the destiny of the monarchy will be determined by the degree to which each branch of the family is able to strike a balance between authenticity and caution mission and media and reconciliation and boundaries. Thank you for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts and say goodbye for now.